everyone, quick book review here. It's been over a week since I finished a book, which is terrible. I'm so slow at the moment. But last night I finished The Princess Bride by William Goldman. This is an abridgment of the original story by a chap called Morgenstein, which I didn't know about. And I have to say, this is very much for fans of classic romantic literature. I'm not talking Mills and Boons or Twilight romance. I'm talking proper romantic adventure stories like Kidnapped, Treasure Island, Jekyll and Hyde, that kind of romance adventure style story. That's very much what The Princess Bride is. Interestingly, the bits I found most enjoyable about the story was more about how this came to be written, how the film came to be developed, and the author's thought processes in when he came to abridging this story. Throughout The Princess Bride, as you're reading it, there are passages where it's nothing to do with the plot. It's the author putting in his thoughts about why he's cut bits from the original story, why he's left things the way they are, which I find really interesting. It's a good thought process of how to structure a story and what he was aiming for when he abridged The Princess Bride. The original Princess Bride apparently is this great 1,000-page tome of a book that features very much on the history of Florin, the country where it's set, and it's very satirical look at life. And Morgenstein was trying to say an awful lot of things. And when William Goldberg had the story read to him as a young boy, his father or grandfather, I can't remember now, one of them, cut an awful lot of that out, because obviously a sick little boy doesn't want to hear pages and pages and pages about the history of a building if it's got absolutely nothing to do with the main plot. So The Princess Bride here now is the main thrust of adventure. It is the story of Wesley and Buttercup and their course of true love, which, as we know, never runs smooth. The biggest thing I can take away from The Princess Bride is actually how clever it is in portraying that true love doesn't always win, that true love has to fight, that life is not fair, but that's the way it is. I find that quite interesting. But I really enjoyed the story. I have obviously seen the film first, so a lot of what is in the film is straight from the book. Because let's face it, all the good bits are already cut quite neatly for us, so that's really interesting. And there is a like appendix bit at the back here, which is about Buttercup's Baby, the sequel to The Princess Bride, and how William wanted to do it, how he came about wanting to do it, and then the whole lawyer business with representations of the Morgenstein estate and lawsuit after lawsuit against him. He says he had 11 personal lawsuits filed against him because of what he'd done with The Princess Bride. And in the back of this is his first crack at the opening chapter of Buttercup's Baby. And to be honest, I'm pretty glad it's not as well known, because from what I've read that bit, I don't think I want the story to follow on. I want it left where Goldman leaves it, not where Morgenstein leaves it, because Goldman left us with the happily ever after. Morgenstein is a lot more cynical about life. His ending is a lot more up in the air and loose, which is very interesting. But I highly recommend The Princess Bride. Like I say, for fans of classic romance literature, for fans of the film, certainly, and for those that are interested in how a story is put together, what writers think is important in a story, compared to what other writers think is important in a story. But yeah, I'm glad I've read it, very much so. So, Princess Bride, have you read it? Do you prefer it to the film? Do you like the film more? Let me know. I think both are pretty awesome in their own right. And what are your general thoughts on it? Have you read this edition, which has got all the extras and the author notes and everything, or have you read an older edition? But yeah, I highly liked it and I would recommend it. As always, my social media links can be found in the description box down below. You can find me on Goodreads, Twitter and Instagram. I also have my book blog where I do some more rambling thoughts and detailed thoughts on books. And as always, thank you very much for watching and happy reading. Bye.